Let's go with let's jump into some Nintendo news. We got the Switch hardware sales reaching 68.3 million units, making it Nintendo's second best selling home console ever. Now we're going into a holiday season. Um, Animal Crossing's first holiday season. Although I don't know if Animal Crossing has much fuel to boost sales at this point. It seems like everyone has jumped on that boat if they haven't already. Do you guys think we're going to see that cross the 100 million mark
Yes.
within the year? Within like the next year?
Oh, maybe like 2, 3 years, maybe.
Making
Okay.
conversation, guys. And then
I will say this: though, Nintendo's very much in the marathon, and everybody else is quite due for the holiday sprint. And I think Nintendo just keeps chugging along and places their IP in strategic places in order to just keep that consistent flow of consoles coming in.
especially if they pull out a Pro, Switch Pro next year. Now there's rumors of it having a mini LED display. Did you cover this? Did you make a video about this?
I did
Great.
I
like a
watched
week
it
ago.
What was it about?
about a
Uh,
week ago.
I've actually no, it's actually been a couple because there was a follow up sort of thing. Um, yeah, supposedly, well, the original thing was that they met with Intelux, and supposedly they're getting rid of the sharp screen, which is an LCD, and moving to a mini OLED, um, or mini LED. But then TCL put out that weird tweet, and so everyone was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what do they care? Because they basically put out a tweet saying, oh, yeah, it's cool that mini LED screens are going to be in the palm of your hand with a Nintendo Switch. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And, like, you know, a lot of people were responding to it, whereas they get no real interaction on anything else.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's just a very weird situation.
I agree with your video, though. I do think that they won the bid, and that's why they were.
Yeah, and so my theory was because I tried to. Oh, they've actually taken down the tweet now. That makes it even more mysterious. And they didn't say a fucking thing that like, oh, sorry, there's no correlation. They just simply took down the tweet.
Well,
That's
that pretty
funny.
much
Do you think
confirms
that was Nintendo
it.
pressure?
Yes.
Well, because I mean, Intelux and Intelux actually did two screens for TCL TVs like way back in the day. So I thought maybe that they were working together on this or something, but no.
Hmm.
Intelux is Taiwanese. Um, TCL is Chinese, so it's not like they're the same or anything like that. So the thing I came away with was, what if the report was right? Nintendo is getting a mini LED screen. They met with Intelux, but they ended up going with TCL instead.
Hmm.
Now, has there been a lot of conversation on what the advantages here would be of a mini LED and why people should be excited about this rumor?
It's a lot. You get better clarity, you get better colors, you get better contrast, brightness. It's a much better look
I
at a PlayStation Vita. It's kind of like a PlayStation Vita screen. If you look at the first batch of PlayStation Vitas that had the OLED
yeah.
versus the other PlayStation Vitas, it's pretty much night and day. And obviously that was what 10 years ago, maybe not 10 years ago, close to 10 years ago. So obviously, screens have come a long way. And when you look at a company like TCL, TCL is pretty much the TV, the Nintendo of TVs.
Mhm.
Like their TVs are cheap, but they're good. They're not top of the line. You're not going to get all the bells and whistles of like a $1,500 TV. But I have a TCL in my living room. I have a TCL in my game room, and they get the fucking job done. They got 4K, HDR, game modes on it. I'm happy.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is going to be like the spillover from each individual pixel, and that's
Yes.
the benefit to it is they're much smaller, and so I think visibly you'll be able to tell a difference. I notice this every so often too, especially in terms of brightness on my Switch. Playing it sometimes in the day, I'm just like, damn, is this up all the way? Is like the active brightness on or any of those things? And I feel like it could be, not only from a power saving standpoint, but it'll be a way to, get the best quality out of a handheld at a less expensive price, I suppose.
So I'm reading up here on this screen, and outside of just the added color depth and contrast, just the better image overall, apparently it's also better on battery, on power consumption. So it would also increase the battery life of the Switch and handheld, apparently. By how
Right.
much though? I don't know. So
Well,
that's a
that's the thing. It's like it's not necessarily just that one thing that's going to make the new Switch potentially better.
mhm.
And then you have all the other, you have the actual tech side of things, not just the display side of things. So it could be very interesting. And if you really want to get into it, in my Hyrule Warriors video today, I put my fucking tinfoil hat on, and you can kiss my ass if you disagree with me. But look at Hyrule Warriors on the 3DS. Look at Hyrule Warriors on the new 3DS. Okay,
Yeah.
it
Well,
ran like shit on the 3DS. Ran great on the new 3DS. What if Nintendo needed to get this game out for the holiday season to have a
ah.
bigger game, but the game will be optimized for the new Switch Pro, and that's why there's frame rate issues.
Do you
Ooh.
think, okay, let's go down the rabbit hole. If there's a Switch Pro that's announced and launches, best case, let's be crazy, March. Do you really think there's going to be, and this could be my own naive point of view, do you really think there's going to be that much demand for Age of Calamity for a Pro? Like I feel everyone who wants this game, it's going to like the bulk of the sales are going to be in the first 3 months.
It's a Zelda game. It's in the main timeline.
Mm, I guess people would, you think, yeah, people would buy it again.
Plus that tees up a
You don't have to buy it again.
Oh, it would
You
just,
just
yeah,
play the game on the new
you're
console and
right, you're
get the
right.
added benefit of it. And
Okay.
you know what? I'm sorry, but Monster Hunter Rise does not fucking look like a Nintendo Switch game to me. I am sorry. That looks like a Switch Pro game. So that
I
was my
agree with that.
correlation.
But like at the same time too, like this is a much different situation like with the Wii U and Breath of the Wild and Wii U on the Switch, whereas like now both systems are relatively up to date and I don't know, it's kind of a different to me. I agree with Sean that like Rise definitely does not look like a current Switch game. I think there's going to be, if they anticipate that 1440p 60 FPS, who knows? I don't know. But I mean, I could see that. I mean, even with an added texture pack or something small, or as is, and it just runs phenomenal.
It's interesting. Bring on 2021 in the Pro. I'm ready for an upgrade. My Switch back there is falling apart, and I'd be one of the first buyers.